Keough here from College Aid Pro. So today what I want to talk about is what's an EFC? That's a term that you've probably heard if you're a parent with college-bound kids or kids in high school. Like, what is an EFC? What does it stand for and what does it mean in the college funding landscape? So what it stands for is expected family contribution. And you always hear it called an EFC for short. So what this is this is the minimum annual amount that the colleges think you can afford to pay for 1 year of school. I very intentionally said minimum and annual amount. It doesn't mean that that's the maximum you're going to pay. It really means it's the minimum and it is the yearly amount. So I've been doing this work with families for over a decade, and I've had one mom in all that time who saw the estimate of her EFC when we were working together, and she said, yeah, Peg, that makes sense. Most parents are shocked at how high this number is. So it's very important to understand what your EFC estimates are early in the game. So if you have a high school student, you definitely want to be figuring out your EFC estimates. And you notice I'm saying estimates. There isn't one EFC. It really depends on the college what EFC or EFCs they are using to decide if they're going to give you what's called need-based aid. So that's why the EFC matters. The colleges want to understand what you can afford as a family, which is this EFC number, and then they look at how much they cost. They subtract that EFC number, and that's how they figure out if you have financial need, which is one form of endowment money that colleges give out to reduce the cost of college, to discount on the sticker price, the cost of attendance. So that's a lot that I just shared there. So let's just review. So these EFCs are the minimum annual amount that you're going to pay for a year. So sometimes there's wiggle room on this. If you get estimates of your EFC, sometimes there's strategies you can implement if you look at this early enough to maybe reduce your EFC. Not all the time, but sometimes there are strategies. So keep that in mind. What are the parts of the EFC? So there's 4 parts. There's student income and assets, and there's parent income and assets. Income, adjusted gross income. There's some other things that get thrown in the financial aid calculation into your income. Then the second piece is the assets. The assets are non-retirement assets only. So that means if you've been a great saver and you've got big balances in a 401k or a traditional IRA or a Roth IRA, a pension plan, those are all retirement accounts, and those are not included. The balances in those accounts will not be included in your EFC calculation. But any other accounts that you have, so checking, savings, stock options, bonds, CDs, anything that's not in a retirement account is going to be on the table. So just keep that in mind when you submit financial aid forms. The EFC, your expected family contribution, gets calculated. So that's really why you're submitting financial aid forms. So hopefully that helps clarify that question. Understand your EFCs, understand for your family, and there could be 3 different ones for your family. So depending on the schools your child is looking at. So you need to understand what your expected family contributions could be, get those estimates. That's not the end of your due diligence. That's really the beginning. That's the tip of the iceberg to start to get a sense of if you're eligible for need-based aid as a family. And this can really differ from school to school. So it's not cut and dry that I'm not eligible for need-based aid anywhere. It could be at some schools you are and at other schools you're not. It's very dependent on your family. But key takeaway here is understand your expected family contributions, and then you can go from there. And as always, happy planning.